Hey, what's going on, my brother?
Blessings, 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 bro. Blessing. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I am setting up, getting ready for this. So let a little bit of time for the people to come on in.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me on this morning. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We let people step on in. Okay. So how are you this morning, Diaz?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. Doing good. Get a good night's sleep last night, and get up this morning. I even though I got a kind of a sad phone call this morning. One of my close friend, um, you know, brother had passed. That was the phone call this morning. But otherwise from that, everything is great. The family is doing great.
Good, good. That's very good to hear. Well, my condolences to you for that had happened. But
Yes,
well, what they say, time heals everything.
that's right. That's right. That's what they say. That's what they say.
Mhm. So we got some people stepping in. What's going on, Janice? How you doing, Eric? What's going on, Lizzie? Kevin, how y'all doing? So right now, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Real Odds and Evens channel. And today we have a special guest, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages. Why don't you give yourselves a warm, healthy welcome to my friend DS Lifestyle. That is the special guest
Blessings.
that I have today.
Blessings, blessings, blessing to each and every one of you in the chat. And before I go any further, I just want to say to your real ads and even thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor and a privilege to have me on here today. And to all of you guys that's in the chat there, blessings, blessings. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate it. So it's just one of those days, one of those days I was called up on this interview, you know, but nevertheless, we're gonna get it done.
Right, right. So, of
As
course,
what as what Marcus as what real ads will say, all cards are on the table today. All
oh,
cards are on the table today, right?
right, right. Welcoming everybody. Alice, just want to shout y'all out. Real Diva Paranormal. Garth, what's going on? How you doing, everybody? So today, now I have
Blessing
an
Janice, blessing.
yes. Lessons to you all. Kevin. I I will have a slew of questions that I have prepared that will give you an in-depth explanation on who DS is, what he likes, what he doesn't like, why he started his YouTube channel, and even more. And we're going to ask a little bit of deep questions. So as we go along, we're going to ask if you have any questions, if you want to write them down, so we can have a portion of the show where you'll be able to ask your own questions if you have any. All right. So shall we begin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, who are you? What do you do? And where do you come from?
I am actually born and raised in Jamaica, right? But I migrated to Canada here when I was 16, 15, 16 years old. I migrated to Canada here, so this is actually, where I currently live right now, as a Jamaican Canadian, so yes, I currently live in Canada here, you know, um, we're a family of, you know, four, you know, so yes, and we created this channel surrounded, by our family lifestyle, what we love to do, you know. So yeah, so that's basically, I have two boys and my wife. So yes, so we just basically do what we love and record it, and put it out there on social media. Not every single thing, but for the most part, that's suitable for YouTube guideline. That's what we do. All right. So yeah, we do a lot of cooking on our channel. Lots and lots of cooking on our channel. So yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So What inspired you to start your YouTube channel?
Well, it was my older son. I always watch YouTube, always. Eat, sleep, drink, walk, talk, YouTube. Like I don't watch movies. I don't do none of that stuff. I just basically take my phone up. If I want to even watch a movie, I do it, on my phone there and through YouTube also too. So yeah, so it was one December. Um my older son turned to me and he said to me, Dad, why you always on YouTube? I said, because I liked it. He said, oh, why don't you start a YouTube channel? And I said, I don't know how to. He said, well, you're on YouTube, you can look it up. So yeah, so that night I said, you know what? Yeah, might as well. I'm on it, right? So I looked it up, did some research. And I think from that time, I started to do my research about YouTube and I fell in love with that also too. Just want to learn more. Just want to learn more. So yes, that's when I come up and I created the channel. And then the channel were just sitting there and think my baby boy were just born, right? So my timing was kind of off. And I think that December, um, I was making Christmas dinner for the family. And my wife was in the bedroom there. So and I told her to come and record me. But she said, oh no, she doesn't want to do it. So my younger son, my older son, take up the camera and he started record me. And I put my first video out on YouTube, and I think it got around 600 and something views on it. And that's what kind of like inspired me. Yeah, I understand, inspire me to actually to continue the journey because that 600 and something views that I got, like it felt like 600 million. Yeah, I understand. That's how it felt to me. So that's what gave me that inspiration also to my older son, and that first video that I put out. So yeah, and I been doing it ever since.
Okay, sounds good. So, what is your favorite video that you made, in your opinion, on your channel?
My favorite video, to be honest, I don't really have a favorite video that I have on my channel. You know, I have one live stream that got over 15,000, 15K views on it. That's what monetized my channel. I wouldn't say it was my best live stream because not because it monetized me. Some people that say that's their favorite video or whatever the case might be. Every piece of video that I put on this platform here is a masterpiece. Like I don't favor anyone over the other. That's the way how I look at it. I treat all of them the same because all of them have potential to go viral. So that's why I don't want to like point finger and say this one is better than this one. All of them is good video, in my eyes. That's my creation. So I try to put pride in every single one of them that I do. So yeah, so that's basically, you know, um, my intake on that. I don't think I have any favorite. I know a lot of content creators out there, they will have a favorite video that they will put on their channel to feature because they want people to see that's what get the most views or whatever, and that's their masterpiece. And if I look on a masterpiece of video and like a piece of video on my channel or a clip of video or whatever and put it there and say, yeah, this is my best video, then I'm as a content creator, I am done grading the rest of the video them that I have there. Yeah, I understand. So all of them is good video. All the live streams are good, all the shorts are good.
Right. Cool. So, how do you stay motivated to continuously create new content, or even, as simple as it may sound, go live?
Live, there's days, there's time, motivation, trust me. Like, you know, sometimes it's not there, believe it or not. But I gotta do what I gotta do. Even for instance, yesterday I went on live yesterday. I didn't feel like going live yesterday, but it was not yesterday and Saturday. I didn't feel like to go live on Saturday, but it actually was a successful live. We gather, I would say probably 16 or 17 membership of that live. We gather some super chat and all that. Thanks be to those donors to the channel. So even though sometimes you feel like you don't want to do something, you know, just follow the back of your mind, or follow that little thought that in your back of your mind that's saying, you know what, you can do it, you can do it. I felt down. Don't get me wrong, I did fell down. That's why when I came on the live and I said to the people up there, the audience, that I need to go down to the river because I need to clear my mind. I need to get a clear thought. That's when I get up. When I have that feeling, I like to just go, in a quiet place, and that's where I can do my thing, right? So yeah, it's just one of those things. Videos, um, sometimes I don't, believe it or not, in the mood to make a video. Because a lot of people doesn't understand making a cooking video. It take a lot out of you. Um, because I don't really script my videos. I don't. So everything that I do on my videos comes straight from up here. I speak, everything that come in my mind, whatever I'm doing, that's what I'm gonna put in that video. So, it's a little bit harder that way. When you script it, you have a piece of paper in front of the phone there where you're reading off, or whatever the case might be. To me personally, no disrespect to no content creator out there that do that, but I don't think that's creative. But that's my personal opinion. That is my
Mhm.
personal opinion, right? Towards it. When you really and truly are a good content creator, you do it from your mind. Everything just come and flow equal. Sometimes you make mistake, but that's the way how it is.
Right, right. So, what advice would you give to someone who is just starting a YouTube channel or is experiencing a slowdown or a lag in tiredness or demotivation?
Well, they have a term on YouTube, YouTube term that they would call burnout, right? Burnout doesn't mean like you go to work physically and you're tired or you're burnout. Burnout mean that you're pushing yourself too much or releasing so much content that you run out of idea. So you get burned out and you just you know give up, right? So my advice is to anybody out there that just starting up a YouTube channel, right? Do not look at subscriber, right? Subscriber come, subscriber go. The main focus, once you get your first 50 subscribers, that you can go live, right? The main focus is to focus on that 4,000 watch hours, right? That's the main focus. The 1,000 subscriber for you to get monetized with the 4,000 watch hour. Trust me, the 1,000 subscriber, very, very easy to get. The 4,000 watch hour, that's the hardest. So yes, focus on your watch hour first, right? That's the main thing you should focus on. You can go live, you go live. You know, live is a key. You know, if you have to run it twice a day, you know, you do it
Mhm.
because you need that watch hour to get monetized. So yes, so that's my advice to the beginners and that they're starting up. Don't focus on the 1,000 subscriber. Your main focus supposed to be on your watch hour first, right? So once you get 50 subscribers, right, you can go live. So once you can go live, you focus on those live stream, right? Because people will come, people will go. Even if you have to talk to your phone by yourself, right? You're still generating watch hour for your channel. So you will still be able to accumulate them as you go along, right? And go there, make some connection with some other community, and that's the way how it work, right? So that's my advice to the younger ones and that just start, don't focus. A lot of us made that mistake, because I made that mistake when I started out too, was focusing on subscribers, right? And
Mhm.
didn't realize that the watch hour was, like, trust me, the hardest thing you can possibly think of, like that. It's not easy to come by. So yeah.
Right. Right. Um, so I know a lot of people encounter problems like this. Um, and they'll probably definitely want to hear this one. Do you use any specific tools or software to edit your videos, or do you
Um,
sometimes just go raw? Raw.
no, I did use, because as I said, yes, I do use app. I use InShot to actually that I use and edit my videos. Um, I did have a few other one. I have CapCut also too, but I find that InShot, my personal experience with both app, I think InShot is a little bit more easy friendly. Like it's more easier to use, right, than CapCut, right? Because you can still even use the free version of InShot and get the same quality and the same result as what you would pay for on CapCut or on InShot itself also too. So the free version is still good. A lot of people doesn't know how to take that InShot watermark out of it, out of their video after they use that free version, but it's very, very easy. To all of you guys out there that do the InShot, right? Just hit on that watermark, that water logo there says InShot. Once you put your finger on it and you hit it, right, it gonna turn the pages, a ad's gonna be playing, a commercial gonna be playing, right? And then you just hit it when the time the commercial is finished. You watch the commercial to the end, then you hit the X, and then that watermark is gone completely out of your video. So that's what I use. I have the pro version, right? But before then I was using the free version. So yes, that's what I use, guys. I use the InShot to edit my videos then, because you gotta remember, lot of people out there, they use it, they freestyle. They start the video, and then they would pass it, and then they would start it back, and then they would pass it. So the reason why I used to do that back then when I just started about, because learning how to use InShot, and I make a lot of mistake because I just speak freely. Like, I don't script my videos them. So sometimes, believe it or not, guys, I will swear while I'm shooting a video and doesn't even realize that I did so. So I gotta edit out that part out of it and cut that part out of it. So yeah. So that's how I learn, you know?
Right. Sounds good. Okay. This is another thing that I think a lot of people can relate to. How do you deal with negative comments and negative feedback on the YouTube app?
It's that's a hard pill to swallow, believe it or not. It's a very hard pill to swallow. Sometimes you don't want to respond back to them, but you have to, right? Or you just blow it off, and either you just skipped over your comment. But there's two sides to it. There's two parts to it. When you get a negative comment, right,
Mhm.
I always send back something positive to that person, right? So, if the comment is so harsh where it really hit me, then I would usually like delete it, right? So once you delete that, and anybody else come in your comment section, they're not gonna see that negative comment that somebody is leaving, right? So usually it's good to just delete it, to just delete that comment altogether, right? Or just skip over it and don't respond back to it or what. But I normally do mine. I normally send back a nice comment back to that person, or I just delete it if it's too harsh, because I don't want the rest of the people that's coming in the comment section. That's the first thing that they're gonna see. They look at the negative. They always look at the negative first, right? So yeah, unless you pin, unless you pin a good comment up there first for them to see, that's the only way. Um, so yeah, or you can, somebody has put in the chat said you can make joke off it, right? Yes, yes. You can when you're doing this, when you're on social media, guys, you have to have a broad shoulder, because like, expect the unexpected. It's gonna come, and you don't want another person to come and draw you down and tear you down. Because they have a bad day, they have a messed up day, they want you to be the same way like them. So that's why I try to motivate them. I try to say back something nice to them, because sometimes people are going through a rough day, and they come on YouTube to let off their steam, and the first person that they bucked up into, that's the person that gonna get it. Even though sometimes it doesn't meant to do it, but that's human nature, right? So yeah, you can feedback that nice comment back to them. And if it's a person that you see is constantly coming back into your comment section and making those negative comment, then what I normally will do, block that person, right? That's what I will do. But if it's a one-time thing from a one person or whatever, but if it's constantly keep doing it and every video that I upload, then they leave me no choice than to block them. That's what I will do. Most of you guys can relate to the same thing too, because not because we're here and we need the support and the love, we're gonna still sit down and let people disrespect us. We're a human being. We all have feeling. We're not a piece of board or a piece of tree or something out there. Even the tree have feeling. So yeah, we're not gonna sit down and let people disrespect us like that. Because of a little view or whatever the case might be on your video. No, no, I don't tolerate those type of behavior on my channel. Once I seen stuff like that keep repeatedly happening over and over, then I take drastic measures right then and there. Because I always says negativity is something that rubbed off on you.
Mm.
So yeah, rubbed off. Yeah, somebody come on your channel or in your comment section and with some negative stuff, it's basically rub off that negative and those people that's following you, right? So they're gonna start to think different of you now because somebody come disrespecting you. You doesn't do nothing at all about it. So they think that they can do it too. So therefore, you have to just cut them off if you're seeing stuff like that's going on.
And I like that you said that because I know on one end of the foot, some people may say, you know, don't do anything, just turn the other cheek. And that's well, witherall in certain situations. But there are certain situations sometimes where if you don't say anything or stand up for yourself, they'll keep, they'll look at you as the easy target. And it's like, okay, you're cannon for the fodder. I'm gonna keep at it. So
Yeah, that's and that is true. That is true, real ads. But I'm a firm believer. I believe in the Moses law, bro. You understand? An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. You juke me in my eye, I'm gonna poke you back into your eye. So the thing about it is not that a tit for tat, but at the same time, we're all human being. We have feeling, right? So if you come with a negative comment over here, you know, or if you're a negative person, leave it at the door when you're coming in because there's no room in here, there's no space, there is nothing in here for any negative comment or anything like that. You watch a video, right? And you just leave
mhm.
a comment. Just leave a comment. Or if you don't want to leave a comment, that's fine. That's even okay too. Like, if you don't have nothing to say about the video, just leave and go. You watch it and you go. Simple. You know?
Right. Indeed. So, in your opinion, what's your favorite thing about being a YouTuber or a content creator?
Oh man. Hey, I love the to be honest with you guys, it's a good feeling when you can get recognized. Are people out there when you're a content creator get recognized, and that had happened to me already, and that day it's like, you know I was on cloud 9, believe it or not. So it's when somebody basically you're famous and people are recognizing you. If you go on the street, people are know, like they know that you're a YouTuber, you're a content creator, and then them actually recognize. It's a good feeling because I experienced that before. So it's something that I wish that every single content creator out there, well, wishing the bigger ones them probably experience that, but the smaller ones them below me there, to get that feeling. It even feeling nicer than when you monetize a channel, believe it or not. Because I was in the bank, one day, in my uniform, I was going to work, and this young man were behind me. It was a lineup, you know, and it was him and his mom was there, and a few other people was in the line, waiting to go up to see the teller in the bank there, but and I heard somebody say this, but in my mind, I was just focusing. I just want to get out of the bank. I was running late for work, you know. And the person says, "This." So I turn around and the young man had said, "See, ma'am, I told you that's this right here. That's this." Right. So I walked up to him and I said, "How are you? What's your name?" And he told me his name, and he was so excited. Like I'm telling you, even the security guard in the bank turned around and looked. The hug that he gave me, and everybody, the tellers, they stopped what they're doing. Everything just froze. If a pin dropped in that bank that day, you could hear it, right? So it's a good feeling to get that attention as a content creator. It's a very, very good feeling. And that's the reason why we do what we do. People do it for fame, people do it for recognition, people do it for this and that, right? Some people do it just for the love. You understand? But for me personally, you know, doing YouTube is that recognition out there. The famous recognition. That's the reason why I keep pushing and doing what I'm doing.
Right. Right. Sounds good. So how has being a YouTuber changed your life?
It changed my life significant because in a sense, um, I get to know a lot of people, a lot of good people out there. A lot of bad ones too. you know. Financially, yes, it does. I make a good revenue off YouTube every month, comparing to a lot of us content creator out there. So yes, I can say yes, it does change my life, since I got monetized until now. I can see the growth of the channel, you know, and I can see the growth of the revenue every single month. So yes, it does change my life a lot, even though I don't consider myself like some of those huge big content creator out there, but we always says one cocoa full basket, and I'm thankful for what I am making now. you know a lot of people are not making any, so I have to thankful for that. So it does change my life a lot. you know
Sounds good right there. So what is your dream for your channel's future?
my dream, I'm real ads, I am one of the most humblest YouTuber that you can possibly find on this platform here. Like I don't run down subscribers or views and all that stuff. I Yes, I would want to see the channel grow. I want to see, my videos them go viral. Yes, I do. But I am a type of guy that I'm very humble. I wait on time. Timing is the key, right? So if it come, it come. If it doesn't come, then I keep pushing on same way. That's me, because I won't ever give up, you know. But eventually it will come. It will come because I seen it going into a good direction now. So hopefully, I'm keeping my finger crossed, and God had answer my prayer that hopefully by the end of this year, it can take off. I'm putting in the work, doing a lot of research, doing a lot of studying. So yeah, but I'm expecting like the goal is to actually hit 30,000 subscribers by now until the end of the year, right? So that's the growth that I'm seeing, that I am looking at by now until then. So we're sitting at 11,500 and something right now. So that's where I'm seeing. So I have another 6 months to accomplish that, which I always set my target and my goal. You understand? I said that with my channel members, them, that I want to hit certain amount of channel member by June, which I did it back in April, right? So yeah, it was that's the way how I look at it. So I seen a bright future for the channel, but I can only set a goal and see if I can accomplish it. You know, I'm gonna push myself, and if I do accomplish it before then, I'm gonna set the bar even a little bit higher because I like to challenge my own self. Yeah, I understand. So yeah. But I seen a bright future for the channel, real ads. I seen a bright future for it, you know.
Gotcha. Um, so to make a quick intercession with these questions, so Gabe Lake had a question because I know once I'll move on to like the different topics of questions. She asked a question here. If someone comes to your live stream disrespectful to someone else on your live stream, should you stop such person or not intervene at all?
So yes, so personally, yes, I would intervene because I am the host. They gotta respect the host. They gotta respect my channel and respect my platform, right? So if somebody if two content creators in a beef, right, and they meet up on my live stream and they started their back and forth or whatever the case might be, yes, both of them are my supporter, right? But I would put my foot in the middle and stop it and tell them to take it somewhere else, not over here. I would stop it. I don't care because I'm not gonna pick side who is right from who is wrong or whatever, right? I would step foot in there and I would stop it right then and there. Is either you guys stop it and stay. If you guys continue, I'm gonna ask you to leave, right? Simple as that, plain and simple. Because this is not the place for the back and forth and the tit for tat and who say this from who doesn't say that. No, you know. So that's what I will do if that ever happened on my channel. Wishing that never happened on my channel before, but if it ever did, that's what I will do. So I hope that kind of answer Gabe Blake question there. You know.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way as people were saying inside the chat. I kind of like the positivity or the motivation and the happiness that can be, brought amongst us here, whether in this chat and while I have my co-host on right now. So definitely good answer, good answer. So now we're going to step into a level two of questions. Now that we've asked you the questions about YouTube,
Yep.
this is going to be a little bit more about your personal experiences, whether it be on YouTube or in your real life.
Yes.
So as you explained, you do like to help people, and you do like to take charge of situations almost inside of like a leadership position, whether it be in your real life or on YouTube, and bring people together. So
Yes.
what inspired you to choose your particular field and motion of helping?
Um, that's a good question, Marcos. That's a really, really good question. And I came on, when I first came on YouTube, I was actually struggling, like struggling, and I paid my way through, put it that way. I paid some people, they teach me what they need to teach me, then I do some research of my own and to be where I'm at. Just like you will send your son or your daughter to university or college or something. That's basically what I did, right? I paid my way through to be where I'm at right now, even though I don't consider myself on the top. But, the experience that I have, a lot of people would die for it, But the thing about it is, where I said to my wife one night, we were lying down in bed and I said to her, whenever time I finish this thing here, this is what I want to do. I want to go back out there and I want to help people, that is struggling out there. That's what I want to do. Right. So, and from then I just started do it. And, I get a lot of hurt along the way, but, nonetheless, I just keep going and keep pushing through even the hurt. And, I think, at one point my wife said, this is my viral, this is my viral for helping people, you know. So yeah, I love doing it, and I won't stop, But now I have more experience where I pick my battle, you know.
Right, right, right. Um, what are some of the most important lessons that you've learned from your experiences?
Oh man, I tell you, like when it come down to loyalty, yes, because a lot of people, like some people know what DS can do from what DS can't do, right? So, when you help a person in a sense where you take their channel from zero, to 100, right? And as soon as you do that for them, then they take off and they do not return and pretend like they doesn't see you, right? So yeah, and that's we call loyalty, right? Or somebody they know what DS can do, they will take up the phone and they will call DS and said, "Oh DS, I try to figure out this. What you think of that?" And then I will sit down with them and I will kind of guide them through it. And then as soon as they get what they want, then they just disappear. You drop a video, you don't see them back, right? They go follow some other people that is not helping them, so these are the experience that I
Mhm.
gathered over the time that I've been on YouTube here and seen it. But it doesn't stop me. It doesn't stop me. I just keep pushing on through same way. You know, it doesn't stop me.
Hmm. Well said answer. I like that. How has your upbringing influenced your desire to help others?
Um, my thing is my mom have 7 of us, and she always says that all of us, you know, out of the 7 of us, is 2 of us, that will give away the shirt on our back, you know, and it's me and one of my other sister, right? And I was like that ever since I was a kid growing up until today day, right? And to see me come up like this and still doing it, it's amazing. And then I gotta do this to set an example for my 2 boys, because I want to teach them real life lesson, right?
Mhm.
I don't want them to come up to be for themselves alone. Even the good that I'm doing now out there, I know if I don't get it back, I know at least it will come down and to my 2 sons. That's what I pray for. That's what I hope for. So yeah. So I learned that along the way as I come, from my mom, and then I brought myself up and teach myself that is good to can give back and help others, and I'm passing it down to my 2 sons that they can, come with it, that people know that we're with the SRJ, and it's a non-profit organization, and we give back to the homeless and stuff like that, and whenever time I'm going out there on the street to distributing food to the homeless, right, I take my boys in with me. I wanted to show them, you know, that it's okay to give back, no matter how small it is, to give back. So yeah, I've been doing this a long time ago, man. Long, long time ago. You know. Now I just put it to social media now, right?
I think your sound temporarily went out.
My son?
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. I thought I just paused for a minute, dear.
Okay. So, what are some of the most significant challenges you face personally on YouTube
Oh,
or in real life that has made you a better person or has forged who you are now?
what you mean? On YouTube or our personal life? Or
Whichever
both of
one
them?
that you feel, or whichever one you feel is has more of an impact on you, like on this app, because in my opinion, there's the real world, but then when you come on this app, on this platform, it's still a whole nother world because it has the potential to affect people, to motivate people, to make them, to break them, to bring them up, to bring them down. This app has such an impact on people, so it's a world in itself. So in the real world or in the digital world, what
Well,
is some of
well, well, well. Personally, my personal life, my personal life. I was a business owner for 17 years, so I have my ups and down. You know, I lost a lot and I gain a lot. I lost pretty much everything that I did had before. Lost everything, my house, everything. I lost everything. I even went as much as going bankruptcy, right? That's in my personal life where I don't really talk about because it did hurt, but you know what I did? I am like a tennis ball, you know. You pick me up and you throw me down, me I go bounce right back. That's me. So I never give up. You understand? And I put my thoughts and everything in motion, and I never give up and I put back myself, which now in my personal life now, as a family man now here and all that stuff, with my kids and my wife, that I could say that, proudly say, it's not that we're bragging on anybody, that's, that we um own two condos, working hard. We had one that rented out and we live in one right now. So yeah, so from zero to where we are right now, I think that I make a good comeback, for my boys. I think I do that. But on the social media platform, and there it's the same thing. Remember, there's a lot of bashing you're gonna get. There's a lot of people gonna say stuff about you. So if you lose your motivation, to throw you off course or throw you off track, you know. I had that before when I started out. I have an altercation with another content creator, right? Which I tell
Mhm.
myself it will never happen again as long as I'm on this platform here, right? And that content creator tried to put me down,
Oh
but
wow.
I never give up, you know. I never give up, and I move forward, and here am I today. Yes, and may I say so? Yeah, it's life. Life is what you're made of it, you know. I never give up. Keep pushing through, no matter what the circumstance, what the situation is. You keep pushing and pushing yourself. You understand? That's what I believe in. That's my motto. That's my dream. At all time, every time I wake up every morning, keep push on through. Keep push on through. There is a light at the tunnel. And I did that. I did that. Trust me, I did it. I did it. I am proud of myself. I am proud of myself for where I am coming from. And I have to give thanks to my wife also too, that deal with me, because they says wherever you find a successful man, there's a good woman behind them. So I have to give that to my wife, because my wife helped me along the way and guide me. You understand that I don't make certain mistake that I make in the past. So yeah, make the right investment, for the boys then. So yeah, it's just it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
Well said. Well said. Next question. How do you stay optimistic in the face of adversity?
that's that's a good one. That's a good one. Sometime in life, Marcus, you know, some stuff will come up, but you just have to make the best of it, and put on a face. There's and put it out there. Yeah, I understand. It's just like with me, would be in the kitchen making a video, shooting a video. Sometimes the food doesn't turn out the way how I want it. Sometimes I'm upset with myself. Why did I fail or whatever, right? But then, on camera, everybody think that everything is okay. But, deep down, there was something wrong, right? In me that I would say that I messed up. But yeah, you have to just face the reality at times, and push on through and do what you have to do. You know, I
Right.
I don't know if that's answered the question, but yeah, it's nothing beat a trial and a failure. And someday I gotta put on a face and come out there. As I said, on Saturday I didn't want to come on live, but I still come on live. Nobody know that I was going. I have my day. That I just didn't want to talk to nobody. I just want to just go relax and clear my mind and all that. So you just put on a face and come out there. Not that you're fooling the people or whatever the case might be, but the show must go on regardless. Even if you have a headache, you still got to do it same way. That's the way how it work.
Right. That sounds good. What are some of the most important things you've learned about yourself through helping others?
I learned that I have a good heart, bro. I have a good heart, in a sense, because people do help others, but it have to come genuine, genuine from the heart, and you gotta love what you do. I help a lot of people. A lot of people they thankful for what I do for them. Some doesn't. And for that I look into myself and I said, you know what? Even though they doesn't appreciate it, you know, I felt good when I go to my bed at night that yes, you know, I had helped that person. I felt good. So yeah, in my heart, every single time I help somebody, it's like I get a high from it. I get a high, like I'm on the crowd now. That's why I do what I do. I get a high. It's not for praise or anything like that. It's just that I felt that.
Right. One second. All right. Still with me? Uh, is your volume still there?
Yeah, man, I'm still here. I'm still here, Marcus. I'm still
Okay.
here. I'm just
Thank-
waiting on you to shoot the question, bro. I'm waiting for you to shoot them. I'm here.
Okay. Well, thanks. Okay. This is a good one right here. What are some of the most frustrating things that you've ever experienced through helping others?
Oh man. So um whenever time I'm working on a channel, because a lot of you guys know there that I do it all. I would take a person channel from nothing and then help them to gain that subscriber count and to monetize their channel. If they get demonetized or anything with their channel, where I would actually help them to get it back, you know, with the knowledge that I have. Sometime when you tell a person I'm working on a channel, and I tell the person do not touch nothing on the channel until I am there, like basically talking to the person on a video call, and then they go behind your back and they messed it up, and then when you try to correct it back, they give you more work. So those some of those things, they frustrate me, right? Or you tell them to leave it, and then they end up and they go ahead and do it on their own and messed it up, and then you got to try to fix it. So it does get frustrating at time, but nonetheless, I'm a type of guy, I love challenge. Even though you know sometimes it give me gray hair, but yeah, I like doing that. I like it. I as I said, I think I said to my wife too that I was made to do this. I don't know. It's but it does get frustrated sometimes. you know um when you get a channel to work on. I had channel in the past that got demonetized, and they got really demonetized. They applied to become monetized. Six or seven time, and they got denied, right? And they got denied from YouTube. The YouTube won't accept them, because some reusable content and this and that, right? And I take that channel, and monetize it, with the help of couple of my allies at the time, close friend of mine at the time that teach me what I know. So yeah, it's just one of those things, it just and that was a frustrating one because I lost a lot of sleep. A lot of time there was times I was on the phone until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, try to figure this thing out, but yeah, but it's a good feeling because there's a lot of people out there that would love to learn how to do it, because no big YouTuber, no big content creator out there is not coming out and say what I will say. And this is the problem why, most of us get frustrated when something go wrong, and they don't know what to do, who to turn to. So they just give up and leave the platform, right? But for all those who know me, they know, okay, they're gonna come to DS because DS can help them, you know. DS is not gonna
Mhm.
sugarcoat it to them or whatever the case might be. DS gonna tell them as it is. So that's what kind of challenge I face some of the time, when I am working with some clients that helping them with their channel. Yeah. But as I said, I love it. I love it.
Great answer. Great answer. How has your personal experience shaped your understanding of others on the YouTube app?
Um, Sometimes it's hard. It is hard to interpret or understand them. It is hard, but you just gotta do your best and try to to work with them as much as possible. As I said, there's times too where um there's confrontation, there is, people say stuff that you don't want to hear, and because everybody's human being, right? We have feeling, right? But we try to work it out in the long run, and just, you know, move forward with it, right?
Right. Right. Okay. Now we're gonna go forward with the next set of questions. This is basically level three. Okay. On YouTube, do you ever feel lonely? Not in the sense of not having friends, but just feeling like lonely as a man set apart or no?
No, not really. Not really. Never. Like ever since I had monetized the channel, um, when I just started out, yes, like there was times I was doubting myself, but ever since I got monetized, it's a different ballpark. Like, there's always people in my circle at all time. So yeah, I never had that feeling ever since I monetized until now. Yeah, there's times that I don't want to shoot a video, there's times that I don't want to go live, but that doesn't mean that I feel lonely, that nobody's there for me. And I think a few months back, it was a Saturday. I was The wife got in from work and she said to me that, "You're going live?" And I said, "No, I don't feel like going live today." And then my sister Cool Vibe had called me and said, "Hey, aren't you going live?" And I said, "I don't feel for it. I don't feel like going on." Um, he said, "Go ahead, man. Go ahead." So I said, "Okay." So I jump in the shower, and then I just go on and do my thing. And that was a successful life. That was actually a good life also too, right? So yeah, those happen from time to time, man.
I definitely understand you. So, how do you measure success in your work in what you do?
Um, I think my success here on YouTube, a lot of people out there look at success. Success is at every level that you can possibly think of. It's not because I don't have a video that go viral yet, or my channel doesn't go viral. But you see, the knowledge that I have up here, right? That's what created, the revenue, most of my revenue on my channel. Where people come and they will donate to the channel, right? Because people need to know stuff, right? And I don't do tutorial videos or whatever the case might be, right? I am a hands-on teacher or professor, as what my sister would call me, where I would take up the phone and I would talk to you on a video call and guide you through the process step by step, right? So that's the type of person that I am. And I think that's the biggest success that I can ever possibly ask for, because a lot of people out here, as I said, content creator, would love to get the knowledge that I have. Remember, as I said before, I can take a channel from 0 to 100 in the space of a week time, right? So that to show you how creative I am, right? That's
Mm,
what I can do. So for to find a person on YouTube that tell that they can do this, trust me, is very few person out there, will come out and say that they can do whatever I can do. So yeah, so that's my success on this platform for now, right? Where a lot of people, they jealous me of it. Don't get me wrong. They they wish they could get it, but you can't take away greatness from a man when a man have greatness, right? That's something that you cannot take away, right?
mm.
So if a man is great, a man is great. You cannot take that away from him. Whether he's that, because I don't have a million or two um, views on one of my videos or whatever, but I'm still making money. I am one of the in this community here. I'm one of the content creator that made the most money of YouTube so far, and I don't have a video that go viral as yet. So yeah. So when a man great, a man is great.
I like that. I was gonna write that down. So you hear that, people? If you have something that's great inside of you, that's already instilled, no one can take that greatness. That's what makes you. They can't take it away from you.
They cannot take it away from you. Cannot take greatness from a man. Like this is my success. This is my success on YouTube. Money wise. You know, most of the people that I help, they some of them appreciate it. They they come back and then um they bless me. You understand? They bless me. So yeah.
Right. The next question: what impact do you hope to have on the people that you help?
The impact that I want them, whatever I teach them, or whatever I show them, or whatever I explain to them, they can use that and help others out there. That's the impact that I want me to have on them, right? In a sense where they can use that and push it forward and help somebody else with it also too, right? Not just keep that knowledge for themselves, right? Because I could have keep this knowledge to myself, but then I realized to myself, like, what good is it to me when there's people out there to be helped, right? So I
Mm.
would be selfish in myself to keep it in and don't let it out. So, that's the same thing I want for, I would say, my students and out there, or whosoever I help out there, for them to spread about the love, and show somebody else how this thing work, right? So yeah, and I think that's the biggest impact. As I said, a lot of them looked up to me, as as I said, they call me the professor, because of the knowledge that I have. Yeah, I understand. So yeah, it's a good look. It's really, really a good look.
Right. Right. So, what are some of your biggest frustrations with the current system of helping people?
Every single day that we're on this platform here, we find more and more ungrateful people, more and more. Like I speak of it so many times that frustrate me, in yeah, I can't speak for nobody else, but it does frustrate, me whenever time I dropped a video, right? You know, these are people that I help. These is people that I motivate every single Saturday, that come with their book and their pencil and they take notes, right? And whenever time you drop the video, like, you're not getting the response of that video that you're supposed to get on that video, right? So it does frustrate me at times, but at the end of the day is I try not to let it stress me. I just blow it off. But there's times I gotta talk about it, when you know I can't take it no more than I have to talk about it, because this is not the way how you go about. They come, they take the notes, they get the information, and they said, okay, bye-bye, and then they go. So that's what frustrates me whenever time that um I help people out there and they don't return back because they get what they want. Right? It's not like they're paying for the information. I'm giving the information to them for free, right? Unless it's something really extreme that I gotta spend hours and hours and fix or whatever, then yes, then I would charge them for that stuff. But if it's something simple or something that they need a little bit of guidance with, I don't really charge them for that. So yeah, so you gotta respect that, respect that. One hand wash another. That's the way how it is. It's not we're paying swap, but it does frustrate at time to see that.
Mm, very well said. Now, we're telling off that question with the frustrating things that you have experienced, and if you've helped someone and they came off and ran away and treated you like you were nothing, but then they faced adversity or some sort of significant, huge downfall, and they came running back to you, what would you do inside that sense, or depending on the situation?
Well, it depends. It depends on the situation, right? Depends on the situation where, as I said earlier on before, I help so many people, you know, um, and if they run away, they doesn't come back, and then whenever time they meet into some other trouble and they come back to this or whatever the case might be, it depends on what the circumstances is in the first place why they run away, right? Then I would maybe give them a second chance and try to help them again. But if it's something that it's simple or whatever, they just branch out and doing their own thing and they make a mistake, then yeah, I would more than happy to help them. As I said, I will pick my battle because I learn now, I have more experience now. So I pick my battle who and who to help or who need my help. Right? It's not everybody out there I'm gonna jump and gonna help because I can do it. Because you see, when the hurt is coming down, it's coming down on me because I do have feelings. So I gotta pick my battle very, very careful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do have um people that I actually, you know, use my own money and help them. Yeah, I understand in a sense. And they turn around. It is sometimes I have to laugh, bro. I have to laugh because looking back on some of the stuff them that I did, you know, um, it's crazy. And if I tell you, Marcos, if I tell you from back then, from I monetized until now, right? I had help over 85 people since I've been on this YT street here. 85 people. When I meant some of them help them grow them channel, monetize their channel for them, get them out of trouble with YouTube or whatever the case might be. Trust me, 85 people so far. And that's a lot of time and effort, that I put into it. But nonetheless, I love to do what I do, even though it's frustrating at times, you know, and it come with ungratefulness. It come with loyalty too, because some of them is loyal. I'm not gonna say it's everybody are the same. We have loyal ones out there. Same way that, show this the respect, same way, and the love same way. Yeah, I understand. But yeah. So 85 people, in 1 year that I help. That's a lot of time and effort, and I have my full-time job. I have my family that I'm dealing with, and plus I still have the YouTube to deal with the same way. So that to tell you guys the timing, So yeah.
Right. Good. Good answer. Um, what are some of the most common mistakes that people who are trying to help make?
I get people that they're trying to monetize their channel, and you know the most of what I get is them doing the application, or some of them doesn't know how to do the accent account. Some of them did already have an accents account and they make a duplicate accent account, and they messed up the whole entire thing, the whole entire process, right? And the accents account that YouTube had put our money into and then they go into our bank account is very, very sensitive. When I meant by sensitive, it's very sensitive. You can have an accent account 20 years ago, for instance, right? Not that it was around then, but just for instance, a long time ago, you don't even know, right? And the most mistake that when they're applying to become the YouTube partner program, right? They're gonna ask you, do you have an accent account, right? When you're applying, guys, say yes, right? So when you say yes, even though you don't have any, say yes, right? The system that YouTube have, it gonna search for you, right? You're gonna search and see if they find that. Cause you said yes, you're gonna search, right? Let it do its thing. You're gonna search, and once it search, you're gonna come back up and tell you that no, they haven't found anything associated with this email, right? So they're gonna ask you if you want to open an accent account, and you said yes, and right then and there, you put in your information and you get an accent account. But some people will say yes or no. Like it's very, very tricky, guys. So I get a lot of that, and then I have to go fix it back, right? And that's a headache, by itself. So yeah, it's some people they can't verify, they can't get their pin, you know. When they monetize, they can't get. There's a lot of that I get also too, that we have to submit fee 2, 3 times. Sometimes a lot of people doesn't know that you can create your own pin if you doesn't receive it that 3 times that YouTube sent you. You just have to send some proper documentation to YouTube, and then you can create they create your own pin. You understand? So yeah, there's a lot of steps to it, and those are the mistakes that a lot of people make. Wishing it's a 1-2 situation. You know, being a YouTube, being in the YouTube partner program and the application is very, very easy. It's not rocket science, but a lot of that I get where I have to go back and help people to fix it because they make so much mistake. They don't know if it's fill out their taxes, the US taxes paperwork and all that. So these are what I the challenge that I face from day to day, you know. I'm just reading the chat here, Marcus. I think somebody had make a comment there. I think it's Alice Adams. I don't know if you want to comment there.
Okay. This comment is from Alice Adams.
Yes.
She asked, how do you distance yourself from people that you sub to and been supporting, but because now they're all about drama without causing any bad blood?
So with in that case there, in that case, so you understand, I always says that if they're not supporting me back the way how I'm supporting them, right? Then no bad blood or whatever I believe in. My motto is support for support, right? And the drama thing, I don't know the drama thing, right? I don't do dramas, right? So I think dramas is for high school kids, but we are adults over here. They're strictly your niche that you set out or your goal is to do on YouTube, right? So if you can make that clear right across the board to them, like this is it. I think it shouldn't be a problem for you to distance yourself from them if they start their drama because they already know that you don't keep up the drama over here. So you can pull away yourself from them easily, you know. You understand if you want, I'm not gonna tell you to block them or whatever the case might be, right? But you just don't watch them anymore. Move on to something else, move on to somebody else that will show you the love and the support. You understand? And I do that a lot of times. You understand where people I said that subscribe to me, I subscribe to them and they just not what I say in a sense, giving me that motivation that they should have been doing. They're doing something as the opposite, or the negative way then. So I just stop follow them. You understand? In a sense, I stop watching their videos because I am not learning nothing from them. They're not giving me nothing positive, is being negative or whatever the case might. So I just stay away from them. So you can do that, my sister. You can stay away from them if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. And it don't have to cause a drama or anything like that. Remember, it's your platform, it's you own yourself. They doesn't own you. So you can do whatever you want to do. You understand? When they want to start a drama, do not listen to them. Do not, I would have say, answer back to them then. Do not call your name on your platform. Make they say what they want to say. You understand? And just do your thing and focus on you and your channel.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, because when it comes to me with that, I'm a little bit more. I'm not judgmental towards people unless people come at me. So other than that, I'm just kind of. But I understand everybody has their own perspective and how they go about things. So well
Yes,
said.
that's true. That's true. Because everybody vent different, Because I would vent, but some people would vent and take it on social media and say stuff that they're not supposed to say because they're venting, or some people just put it in words. Some I would just vent with my wife or my friends or somebody, right? But some people take it on social media. A lot of my venting that I do, when stuff happened to me on social media here, I went with my close friends, them that had my number, have their number that, I talk to on a regular basis, tell them the situation, what happened, and kind of let it out there, right? But I don't really come back on social media or on my platform. There's time to time I want to, because my topics and that I touch base on weekend time on my live, people might feel that I am venting, but I am not venting. I'm just speaking reality and the truth. Venting. My venting is different because you guys doesn't want to hear me vent. you know, yeah, it's a different type of venting. But yeah, I do get that from time to time.
Mm, mm. Can you repeat the last thing you just said? Because I think your sound went out just for a little bit.
Um,
But I think we did get the gist of what you were saying.
yeah. I think what I would do, I would see if I can plug in my microphone here, if I can. Then maybe you guys can help hear me a little bit clearer, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, so this is not a question, but this is more of a scenario that popped up that I said what I said has come up with, and I notice a lot of people talk about this, and some people think that you're doing things on purpose or trying to go live, but we have to realize there's thousands, millions of people up on YouTube who are trying to do their things, and there's only 24 hours inside of a day. So she stated that she found herself not going live because people that she tries to support may be live, and she has to figure out how to navigate this. How do you figure that people navigate when other people are going live at times, but you got a slew of people, 10, 12, 15, all a part of the same circle, and everyone wants to go live at the same time? What do you do
Well,
inside such situation?
the way how I look at it, um, I always says I never ever looked at nobody. I don't look in my subscriber feed. I don't care who is on live, who is wanna do their thing, right? Whenever time I wanna go live, and whenever time I feel like I wanna go live, I am gonna go live. That's me. I am not gonna watch what another person is doing. Cause you gotta remember this, nobody is looking out for you on this YT street here. They're looking out for themselves. So if you're gonna watch and say, oh, there's 20 people over there on live, so I'm not gonna go live. You think they would have cared if you were on live and they wanna go? No. So my advice is to you, whenever time you wanna go live, you go live. Don't let nobody stop you from go live. You understand? You go live. Because if I go on live right now and my friend real ads go on live, or I didn't see that real ads were on live, but I go live, right? Or he didn't see, or I didn't see, or whatever the case might be, right? So that's why I don't check my subscriber feed. I don't check it whenever time I'm going live. I just go live because it's gonna give you a guilt trip. That guilt trip gonna come on you and said, oh, my friend is live, so I'm not gonna go live. No, you just go live when your mind tell it to go live because that live can go viral. That live can, get you a lot of watch hours or whatever the case might be. Or you could, if you monetize, could make you a lot of money on that live or whatever the case might be. So let's do your thing, my sister. Don't watch what another person out there is doing because if you keep on doing that, you're gonna find yourself falling back and they're gonna be rising, right? Because you're watching what they're doing at all times. So do not watch what another person is doing. If you wanna go live, my sister, you go live. Doesn't matter who is on live. It could be your husband or your significant partner or whatever the case might be. You go live. It's your channel. You run it the way how you want to run it. You're not running your channel based on other people feeling. You understand? You're gonna run it the way how you want to run that channel, not on somebody else's feeling or what they're gonna think or what they're gonna say. So yeah, that's my personal intake to that to you, where I would just go live.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, say yeah, because like now that you said it and put it aside of a different perspective, there's always going to be a flow of traffic, whether it be
Yes, it's
kids,
true.
children, other adults, millions of people come through. So whether or not that person is, oh, this and that, whatever algorithm you're putting, you're still
Yeah.
gonna.
It doesn't really matter. This is the YT street. Remember, the YT street is growing every single day. Every single day that we come and open our eyes and we live to see another day on this planet Earth here. There's over 100 and something thousand YouTube channel every single 24 hours that we are on this earth here. So you imagine how much is out there right now. You understand? So do not let nobody try, because remember, everybody want a piece of the pie. Everybody want a piece of the pie. So therefore, when you are going live, don't watch what other people are doing, because they're not watching what you're doing. They're looking out for themselves. So you gotta look out for yourself, and do your thing, because people gonna be always on live on YouTube. Always. You understand? No matter what, people gonna be always on live. In my community here where I'm at, right? People they on live every single hour you can possibly think of. You know? So yeah, man, you have to do your thing, my sister. You have to do your thing.
Hmm. This is another good question inside your opinion, right? What are some of the most effective ways that people can help others on this app or outside this app?
Well, it all depends on what you want to do. It all depends on what you want to do on this app and outside and off the app, right? I basically can speak for myself what I do on this app and off the app, right? Um, as I said, I came on YouTube, didn't expect anything, but at the same time, it basically bucked up into me, put it that way, right? And I could resist it, where, helping others, right? My help on YouTube, where I would go back, remember, guys, I would get my paycheck off YouTube and I would just give it away back. That's me. I just give it away back, to the people in there on YouTube, that's in need of it. I will give it back. So that's something that it is good, and this platform that I seen, where I meet up with Cool Vibes Only, where she have the charity there, and that's something good that were brought to our attention, and we started to support that non-profit organization ever since, right? So yeah, off this platform here, oh my God, every single day, every day I've been doing good. Every time I go in my car to go to work, I always see somebody on the roadside, always, you know, at the stoplight, asking for change. I go grab my coffee in the morning from the coffee shop. There's somebody there, always asking for something. I always been giving, and to see us, me and my wife and my two boys, even though one of my boys are baby, to get out there, you know, um, last month, and feed 100 homeless um, people, right? So it just, these are things what we do off this platform. This is things that we do on our time. Our not for content purpose to put on our channel or whatever the case might be, but we do that for the SRJ. It's a non-profit organization. That's our time that we volunteer, and do that. So yeah, man, we do things on YouTube and off YouTube. A lot of the people that I help on YouTube here, with your channel and stuff, some of them, as I said, I charge, some of them I don't, so yeah, it's one of those things. So we still have the good same way. We give our paycheck, every single month there is um a percentage of our salary that we make off YouTube. It stays into a bank account for the SRJ initiative, to always have money here in Canada here when we want to go there to do something, out there on the street for the SRJ. So yeah. So yeah, that's the way how we do it, and then some of it again we use and go around, we super chat other content creator with it. You understand? And that's coming from our salary that we make every month off YouTube. So we always been doing good. I always been doing good ever since.
Yes, yes. The SRJ initiative, this is another grateful member and partner in with that, including with Cool Vibes, of who's part of the nonprofit of what we do. We do help other people, the less fortunate, people who've gone through things even in different countries, Jamaica,
That's right.
Haiti, Africa. And if you want to check out some of the exclusive clips, like I have some, but sometimes people they don't want to be on camera. You can
Yes,
check
that's
out
true.
Cool
Yes,
Vibes.
yes. Yes,
Yeah,
and we as content creator, we like to be transparent. We like to video stuff. I said to my wife, I don't know with me and this camera thing, like back then to even take a photo of myself, is something that I would never do. Right? Me and my wife we went on vacation and she said, let's take this picture here as memory and whatever. I said, I have the memory in my brain. That's how I used to be scared of, not really scared of taking photos or whatever, but to see now as a content creator, we are not scared of the camera. I'm not scared of talking. I'm not, you understand? So I had come a long way, I've come a long way. So yeah, it's the transparency, it's really, really good.
right, right. Um, what are some of the most important resources that people who are helping others need?
Um, we find like I think when we went out there back in in January, when we went out to feed the homeless them back in January too, because we went out in the middle of winter here in Canada where it's like minus 20 something. It was really, really cold. We find that people were sleeping in tents. It's really, really cold. you know so we find that they need those stuff. They need the tent itself. To me personally, that still ain't warm. Even though they have sleeping bags and jacket, and all that stuff, but it's still not enough. We went out that day. We gave out 65 meal to the homeless that run there, and we gave them out some toques, some hats and mittens. We gave them also too. So, and they were in need of some blankets and stuff like that. Like they were asking us for some stuff like as simple as a little hoodie like this. I get couple guys were asking me if I have any. At one point I was gonna take off mine and give to them, but then I know it wouldn't be pretty for me out there walking around and actually distributing, the food to them. So yeah, so I told them I would come back, which and I did come back the following day because we do 2 days worth of it that we go there and distribute. So yeah, so there's people out there that in need, right? Because he always says want and need is two different things, right? So
Mm,
there's a lot of people out there that's really, really in need of stuff, more than what we think. Simplest of things, they need, a couple of socks, what we take for granted, they need it, right? Then food, for instance, like, I have footage of people like taking out food out of the dumpster, like straight into the dumpster for food, So these are things that actually break me down, that I shed tears because, I've been here in Canada here for so many years. And sometimes I cook a lot of food on my channel and on my in my kitchen and put it on the video on my channel. And sometimes most of that food we had thrown it out into the garbage. And this is the reason why I take my older son to give him that experience and said, what we have here in this house here, do not take it for granted because there's people out there that's really, really in need. You take a look at this. This is like a lesson that I'm teaching him, right? So yeah, so it's like there's a lot of stuff going on out there that I see, a lot of stuff that people actually need out there. When I go there and they on the street to do what we do, I see them first and every day. I drive past them. I see them. People out there. We're right now. We're in a process right now. I don't want to really stress out the interview too much. We're really in our process right now to actually donate a whole bunch of stuff to a school in Jamaica there, the SRJ initiative and Cool Vibes Only, right? So yeah, and we're a part of it also too, where, as we said, everything transparent, clothes, backpack, food, book, pencil, water bottle, all that stuff, right? So yeah, man, a real thing, man, a real thing, real thing. So yeah, there's a lot of people out there that's really in need, and some doesn't, because they can put on a blindfold over your eye and fool you and let you think that they're really in need. But as I said, with the right ears and eyes, then we can detect that now because we've been it in a while now, been doing it, so we kind of know what to look for, what to expect, because people tell that they need, oh, can you buy me a pair of shoes? But yes, still they have 6 pair in their closet, that they haven't worn as yet, right? So yeah, so we have to know that, it's like every case, I would say every case is different, right? Every case is different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like that. Great, great, great answers. Great answers. So, how do you stay motivated and internally driven to help people and continue what you're doing, especially when things get tough through hate, through jealousy, and through miserable people?
Well, you know, every single day that I on this platform here, I pray, you know, I pray for the guidance because, you know, the same people them that uplift you, is the same people them that can tear you back down, right? Um, so I prepare myself physically and emotionally and everything. Like I prepare myself for anything, the unexpected, anything at all, right? That's what drove me and keep driving me because I prepare my mind and my thought for the unexpected. You understand? And that's what keep me going because I know who they are. I know this is social media. Even your biggest fans them can, that build you up. They are the one will tear you back down. Remember, they doesn't know me, I doesn't know them. This is social media. They just gravitate to what you're doing or they love what you're doing, but it's not somebody that you know in real life. So they can turn on you at any time you know. Even the
Mm,
most loyal supporter you have can turn on you at all time. It's just like it take a wild lion from out of the wild and bring him home as a little baby cub, and you try to grow him up to tame him. You cannot take the wild out of that lion, regardless of what you want to do to that lion. You understand?
mm,
That lion will be always wild. So these followers and supporters that we have, no matter how they say that you're loyal, they can turn at any given point. If you messed up, if you slipped up, if you go up, and if you go down, and they doesn't realize that we're human being, we make mistakes, stuff do happen, right? But they will turn on you. And this is my message and my word to all of you guys out there, right? Don't take nothing for granted. Physically, mentally, prepare yourself because anything can happen at any given time. You understand? You will get 500,000 views on this video this week, and you post one over here the following week, and you only get 5,000 views on it. The same one that watch 500,000, they can watch this one over here too, right? But they decided that they're not gonna make you reach there again, right? So they can tear you down. So you have to constantly feed them, just like some alligator in a pond or piranhas in a pond. You have to constantly feed them to make them happy, to keep them around, to keep you elevated. Yeah, it's reality. It's true. You have to constantly feed them. And once you slipped up, then because they cannot be tamed. Supporters or followers cannot be tamed because they can flip on you. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that you don't have some loyal one, guys. But that's the way how you have loyal ones that's there, but they will flip on you at any given point. So this mentally and physical prepare yourself. Have a broad shoulder to take it when it's come, if it ever happened, right? And that's what the DS do that keep me driven at all time, you know.
right, right. Very well said. Very well said. And I like that you focused in on that because some people, might feel these things or might be experiencing these things. So the relatability to know that, they're not the only ones. Very great answer. How do you handle situations where you disagree with the people that you're helping?
Well, I always says I disagree sometime, because they always says for everybody experience is different and everybody outlook at things is different. You know, I always says, yes, you're in a situation, right? And you come to the DS for help. And DS is actually giving you that advice. And if you don't want to take that advice, why did you come to DS for the advice in the first place if you don't want to take my advice, right? If you're going to ask me an opinion or whatever on something, then that's different, right? But if you come to me for advice and my help and I'm willing to help you and you don't want to take it, so why did you come to the DS? That's my intake, and that's why I get frustrated, right? And that's what, you know, sometimes you will find a disagreement or whatever there, right? So, but yeah, because if they know that they were doing something right, they wouldn't come and ask for a second opinion on something or whatever the case. Even though there's nothing wrong if you asking for a second opinion, but if you come to a person for help, obviously you're doing something wrong, right? And you're caught up on yourself that you're doing wrong and you need help, so you come for the help. So when you come for the help and I'm giving you help, I always look at it this way here, right? If it's something that I can help you with, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna give you my expertise to that situation, right? If you don't want to listen, then I always say that's what you're gonna be in an argument, because I know what I'm doing and you come to me for the help, I don't want to take the advice and I get upset, right? I do get upset, you know, even though I will still help them, you know, but, you know, I will tell them a piece of my mind, because that's the type of person that I am. Like, you know, um, you just gotta be humble and take in the lesson and learn, and then you know, we succeed from there, you know.
Right, right. Don't ask me the question if you're not gonna like my answer.
Exactly, and that's the thing. That's the thing. There's a lot of people like that, you know. There's a lot of people like that. I'm gonna tell you the type of people like that. The people in that second guessing themselves or second doubting themselves, those are the people like that. They will come to you and they will ask you something, and when they ask you for your opinion, you give it to them. Then they do the opposite of whatever they said to you, right? Or, you know, so those are person that they have an answer and they have a solution, but they're doubting themselves. You know, I never second doubt myself. You know, never ever second doubt myself. Because the minute you start to second doubt yourself, you're setting up yourself for failure, right? So you don't second doubt yourself at all. Whatever you're doing in life, you do it, right? You're not gonna do something out there crazy, you know, get yourself in trouble, you know, because we know wrong from right. But if you set out for a goal of doing something, you do it, right? You know, if you ask somebody a question and say, you know what, I'm gonna save up $30,000 to buy a house, make a down payment and buy a house. You don't have to ask somebody opinion on that. You set to your goal and you do it. Yes, I may say. So these are the problems that we're facing nowadays with some of these people. You know, they're second doubting themselves. Do not second doubt yourself, right? Because they say self-motivation is the key. If you can motivate your own self, trust me, that's the key right there. So yeah.
I like this. Sometimes you just gotta be your own best hype man or your own best cheerleader.
Exactly. You have to motivate yourself sometime and tell yourself that you can do it, you know?
Right. So to interject real quick, we have another questionnaire from Alice, and she asked, "Is there any advice on what to expect on your first time going live, and how do you deal with it?"
Um, Actually, you know what? My first time going live, you know, it was another content creator that actually showed me, because I never know nothing at all about YouTube back then. I didn't expect like what gonna happen. I just go and he showed me, and I went on live for half an hour, right? And I believe you me, and he was even surprised. He said, I think I got on, I think around 13 or 14 people was on the live, you know. And he turned to me and he said to me that you were lucky, because the first time he went on live, it was just cricket. It was just him and the camera talking. There was nobody coming on the live, right? So when you go on live now, because YouTube is so um, diverse now, and it's so I would say more transparent now, where whenever time you go live, you would always have somebody on your live stream. Always. No matter if it's none of your subscribers, but you will always find people come on, because now YouTube is sending out your live through the short feed, right? and the vertical live feed, right? So your live stream is going through there now. So you will find that traffic will still come over to your live stream same way. So, you may get some negative people come on and them see your face and see if you look nice or whatever and say some stuff to you or whatever, but just don't read them out in the chat. Just skip over them and do your thing. Just keep your mind focused on that. You're there for your watch hours or whatever the case might be, right? So, don't be disappointed. There's always gonna be people on your life. It's not like back in the days. Now, there's a lot more people on the platform now, so people would always come on, even though if it's none of your subscriber, which I know your subscriber them gonna come on. If and even one of them or two of them gonna come on, right? Because YouTube gonna send out that notification bell. So, you don't have to expect anything. You don't have to be afraid. As I said, the only thing that is like sometimes you get some rude comments, in the comment section. I always says to people out there when they come on my live and they see that stuff, especially ones in that have the mad, do not block them, do not delete them or whatever the case might be, because that's those people that come on your live, we call those person on YouTube wild goose trace, right? They just come on anybody live stream, they just come on, right? So by you timing them out, remember that they come on your live stream to support, but they're supporting in a way that you don't want them to support, like they're giving a negative comment. So by you blocking them and timing them out, you're taking away that one person off your live stream that would stay on your comment in your comment section for 2 or 3 hours. You're on live, even though they're messing around, but they're creating watch hours for you, right? So all you have to do as the host, right? Do not read out their comment publicly on the live stream, right? But you see it. Everybody in the comment section see it. But they're creating watch hours for you. That's why I don't time out people on my live stream, right? I see the comment, but I just don't read it out. I pretend like I don't see it, but they're supporting me, right? So this is where you have to have a broad shoulder to take it whenever time it comes, because it's social media. It's not everybody are the same. Everybody personality is different. Everybody feeling is different. So, but I can take it. Maybe real ads can take it, but you can take it. So everybody's different. If you feel like you want to time them out, you
Yeah,
can go ahead and
yeah,
time.
because
There's nothing wrong with it.
I am and
Yeah, I think you're freezed up, real ads. I think you're freezed up. At Yeah, freezing. Yeah, I think real ads are spinning. Or it's on my end, or it's on real ads end. Um, didn't hear. Here first fantastic says here from. Yes, I hear this. Yeah, so yeah, probably it's on real ad side. Yeah, real ad side freeze up. Real ad side freeze up there. But yes, guys. So if you guys can still hear me, yeah, so the live is still going, still going. Just that real ads is not um and like asking me the question or whatever the case might be. Um, So maybe if somebody call him or whatever the case might be, yes, that could actually happen, But that's good. That's good. We just wait a little bit and see if he will come on back, you know, see if he will come on back. We're not gonna jump to any conclusion yet. Let's give him a few minutes. I'm still here. I'm still here. So You know, long as you guys can hear me, then that's good. I am hearing you. That's good. That's good, cool vibe. So yes, guys. So yeah, I know I don't want to really jump into it, but I gotta keep this thing going. You know,